Guys, it's Kelly. I'm back with another video. This is for Creative Smiles March release, and this set is called Crokisses, which is obviously a kind of like a play on word because kisses is actually spelled out. There's a bunch of beautiful floral images in here, but I chose that I wanted to make like a field of them, of these ones that are opening up, and I did not have a single clue what color Crocusses? I don't know. I don't know what the correct version is. Whatever. I didn't know what color they came in. So I went on the Google, and the first image that came up was like these beautiful, vibrant violet color. And then that was kind of mixed in with some like golden yellow, and it was stunning. And so that was how this card was born, because I was like, I want to do a field of crocusses. I don't know. I'm gonna have to look that up. Probably should have done that before I did my video, but I didn't. So nonetheless, we are doing a one-layer panel. So we are stamping and masking. And I cut out about 3 masks, and I'm just moving them around as I need them to fill in my whole card. I tried to vary my height so that there was a good variety, that it looked like a natural, excuse me, like a natural field would. You know, they wouldn't all be the same height, same level. So after that is all done and masked off, I'm going to go back in with a black pen and then just fill in the rest of the stems to carry them all the way down to the bottom of the card. And then we're going to move in to the Copic coloring. One of the things, one of the types of crocus that I saw in that field was a white one with like purple veins, like beautiful violet veins. And so I wanted to try to recreate that. And this is my first shot at it. I taped the whole thing, and you're going to see I'm learning as you guys are learning. So don't think whatever you're doing is imperfect or not as good as whatever. Quickest way to unhappiness is compare yourself to somebody else. Like, you're doing fine. We're all making it up as we go along. So I started off by putting down the violets in the veins first, and then adding my gray over it. But I didn't go vibrant enough. Dark colors are scary sometimes. So I'm going to go back in with the VO4, which is a super bright purple color, and that really just like picked it up a notch. And so that's the combination I ended up going with. I laid down a VO4, I blended that out with a V12, and then the V000, and then I still did the same blending with the C1 and the C3, since it is supposed to be partially white flower. And I'll show you this one again, just because the first time I was still figuring it out, and it's kind of like a lie, because it's a partial flower that I'm showing you since it's hanging off the edge. But nonetheless, I started with my darkest, the 04, then to the 12, then to the 00, and then I'm adding some shading with the C's, since it is supposed to be a white flower, and I'm trying to pay attention to where they would overlap the other flowers. So if there should be some shadows, trying to pay attention to that. I did a couple of these. I did not show you all of them. And then I'm going to move on to the darker violet flower. I picked out very similar colors. I kept the V12 and the VO4. I just added in the 17 and the 9. And here I'm doing what I normally do, which is the lightest to darkest, darkest to lightest. So I'm using a very light hand and flicking motions to blend my color. The V17 has a little bit more blue in it. But that's okay, because they all blend together and work really nicely. I mean, if you just laid them out, like if you swatched them, you could probably tell a large difference. But once you're putting them into an image, they all kind of work really nicely together and give you like a super vibrant color. So, and you know me, I'm all about the bold colors. When I was coloring this one, I was trying to make sure I left a lighter edge on that petal that's in the forefront, so it wouldn't all blend together and just be like one big purple blob. And there you could see me kind of like moving my pen around, like, what am I going to do next? I was trying to figure out placement wise. I didn't want too many purples over here and too little over there. I wanted something that was going to flow when you looked at it. So I decided that I was going to do 5 total of the purple, which would leave me with 4 white and purple and 4 yellow. Now, you've heard me say this a dozen times before, to work in odd numbers. You do the best you can. The reason I was comfortable going with like the 4 yellows is because the same yellows I used to color in the centers of all of the flowers, so it didn't look as obvious, I guess, that there were 4. So though all the purple ones are done, and I only showed you 1 yellow. Yellow, I don't know, yellows, like, they're not that exciting to blend. I'm not going to lie to you. They're very difficult for me. So I start with my lightest one and then to my medium. It just never feels like I have really good shading when I do a yellow flower, but I couldn't pass them up because the yellow and the purple was so stunning together. I didn't really have a choice. My card was like holding me hostage for my color preference. So this Y24 was my darkest color, and that is the one that I used to color in all of the centers of the flowers, just to give it some continuity. Everything kind of matches up. And you'll see I just kind of like dot it in there. I didn't do any shading on the, what it was called? Stamen? Is that what they're called? I think that's what they're called. Yeah, it's been a minute since I was in any sort of science class, so we're calling them stamen. Then, of course, the favorite green combination, and I'm going to do the stems. I tried to color some lighter, some darker. Anything that you color darker naturally falls to the back. So I tried to pay attention to that, like what flowers would be behind the rest, just to give it a little bit more of a realistic look. Now I realize I'm coloring a black outline image, so realism is not, complete realism is not totally possible, but we do what we can with what we got, and I can't give up my black outline. I love it. You guys know this. I love it so much. So here I'm adding that 67 to just the ones that are going to be in the background, and you can see me trying to like kind of figure that out. But then like I told you, the picture that I saw on Google was like a field of crocuses. I'm saying crocuses. So that's what I wanted to recreate. So here I'm just taking my lightest YG, and I'm using just short or long, depending upon the area I'm in. I try to do it in one fluid motion, just strokes. I'm using very light pressure. I'm not pushing my marker into the paper. I'm almost drawing like little just stripes. And this is to give the appearance of grass. And it really starts to come together when you add in the 17. That's when the depth starts to come in, just like with almost any other image you do, which is why most Copic colorists, and especially me, are always encouraging you to use darker colors. It's because that's where you get your depth from, is that contrast. So I outline all of my images because that just makes me happy. So I have a EK Success journaling pen, and I'm going to go ahead and outline all of the black outline images. So all of the flowers and their stems. I did that off camera because it's long. It takes a minute. And then I'm going to be using my favorite ink for sentiments, which is W+9's dye ink in black. And I'd never stamped a sentiment before, so I just stamped it one time off to the side to make sure that I was all good to go before I stamped it on my project. You know, I'm a firm believer in everything needs shimmer. All the things should be shimmery. So I laid down a healthy coat of Winkostella clear shimmer over all the flowers. And then that is basically the entire card. I kept it pretty simple. I didn't really feel the need to add like sequins or anything. I thought the flowers were just kind of bold enough to carry it itself. So thank you so much for joining me. I hope that you will head over to Create a Smile this entire week. We are doing release week, so there's lots of fun new projects and products on the blog. Thank you so much. Have a nice day, guys. Bye.